made by local governments. And whereas despite well-timed and targeted preventative maintenance treatments, the age and condition of many of our locally owned transportation assets means that they are beyond preservation and in need of much more costly rehabilitation and reconstruction. And whereas estimates by the State Comptroller, DOT, and independent studies show a large portion of road mileage is deteriorating, and many bridges in the state are rated structurally deficient and functionally obsolete. And whereas the State Comptroller estimates that there will be an $89 billion in unmet local infrastructure needs over the next 20 years. And whereas the New York State Association of Town Superintendents of Highways commissioned its own 15-year analysis that indicates an annual funding gap of $1.3 billion for the local system, excluding New York City alone. And whereas funding for our local system has been far short of what is needed, and we've fallen further and further behind in maintaining a vast and aging transportation infrastructure over this long period with severe consequences for conditions, ratings. And whereas the New York State Consolidated Local Street and Highway Program, CHIPS, provides essential funding for every municipality in the state, and as part of the New York State Department of Transportation, New York NYSDOT capital program. And whereas in the early 1990s, the governor and legislature created the Dedicated Highway and Bridge Trust Fund, DHPTF, to pay for the NYSDOT capital program, and Dedicated Mass Transit Trust Fund, DMTTF, to assist with the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, MTA, what's going on, and other transit assistance capital programs. And whereas when the DHPTF was created, it was agreed that the NYSDOT and MTA 5-year capital programs would be similar in size and would be negotiated concurrently. And whereas through 2005 to 09, both 5-year capital programs were similar in size and adopted within months of each other. Whereas in 2010, the executive and legislature broke traditional parity and enacted a 5-year capital program for the MTA, but not the DOT. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town of Shandaken calls upon the governor and the state legislature to make additional state funding and resources available at levels that accurately reflect the critical needs of local roads and bridges, and increase CHIPS funding in the 2016-17 state budget. Be it further resolved, the town of Shandaken calls upon the governor and members of the state legislature to fully fund and submit a new NYSDOT 5-year transportation capital plan. And be it further resolved, the town of Shandaken calls upon the governor and members of the state legislature to recognize the equality of roads, bridges, and transit by restoring funding equality between the MTA and NYSDOT 5-year programs, and by voting on the plan simultaneously. Be it further resolved that the town of Shandaken Town Board hereby directs the town of Shandaken Town Clerk to record said resolution upon the official record of the town and a certified copy sent to all the town state's representatives. Move its adoption.
I'll second that.
Board Member Moy?
Yes.
Board Member Storrs?
Yes.
Supervisor Dent?
Yes.
Resolution 143-15, resolution for renewal of town insurance. Whereas the town of Shandaken has Marshall and Sterling Insurance, 103 Executive Drive, Newton, New York, for the town insurance. And whereas our current policy terminates on December 31st, 2015. Therefore, be it resolved that the town board contract with Marshall and Sterling Insurance for the period January 1, 2016 to December 31st, 2016, not to exceed $80,000. And move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Moy?
Yes.
Board Member Storrs?
Yes.
Supervisor Dent?
Yes.
Resolution 144, resolution to establish town volunteer cemetery program. Whereas the town of Shandaken has many abandoned cemeteries, and whereas the abandoned cemeteries are in need of maintenance, repair, and cleanup, and whereas Section 165(1) of the New York State General Municipal Code authorizes a municipal corporation to establish volunteer cemetery maintenance and cleanup programs. The program to maintain abandoned cemeteries wholly contained within such municipal corporation, and whereas pursuant to Section 165(3) of the New York State General Municipal Law, a municipal corporation shall not be liable for any damages sustained to any person participating in the program, and written notice of liability exemption shall be provided to all participants in the program. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the town board of the town of Shandaken in regular session duly convened as follows. The town board hereby authorizes and establishes a volunteer cemetery maintenance and cleanup committee there shall be 3 members appointed to the said committee by the town board. Said members shall serve as volunteers. Be it further resolved, appointed members are Richard Bennett, Teresa Grant, and Brian Grant. And pursuant to section 165(4) of the New York State General Municipal Code, all members of said committee and any other volunteers who may participate in the program shall be given written notice that the town of Shandaken is not liable for any damage sustained as a result of participating in the program. And I move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Storms?
Yes.
Supervisor Dent?
Yes. Do they have to report to the master program for the games?
The program?
No.
No,
Just
what-
try.
the program. Oh, yeah.
Just keep hearing the program. The program. Resolution 14515, resolution designated Shandaken Day as Catskill Mountain Scenic Byway event. Whereas Shandaken Day has been a yearly event since 2004 and is a town-sponsored family event highlighting the area's Native American history as well as its local history, our local people through Hamlet Heroes and Prides of Shandaken, as well as local businesses and community events. And whereas this is an all-day affair that welcomes vendors throughout the Scenic Byway corridor and a collaborative effort with Scenic Byway towns through a getaway giveaway raffle, which also hosts many civic groups that promote our town and its scenic assets. Whereas the event Shandaken Day is located in our hamlet of Big Indian on Route 28 along the newly appointed Catskill Mountain Scenic Byway. Therefore, be it resolved, the town board of the town of Shandaken hereby recognizes and designates Shandaken Day as the town's Catskill Mountain Scenic Byway event. Move its adoption.
I'll second it.
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Storms?
Yes.
Supervisor Dent?
Yes.
Resolution 146-15, resolution to auction obsolete vehicle and equipment. Whereas the town of Shandaken has identified several pieces of equipment that he has deemed obsolete, and whereas the town would like to offer the vehicle and equipment up for auction through Auctions International, and whereas the following vehicle and equipment have been identified as obsolete: 2006 Ford E350 Type 3 ambulance, surplus radio equipment, surplus durable medical supplies, miscellaneous surplus vehicle equipment. Therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby authorized to place the above-mentioned items up for bid through Auctions International. I move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Storms?
Yep.
Supervisor Dent?
Yes.
Resolution 147.
This is the long one.
Bond resolution authorizing the issuance of a $70,000 statutory installment bond for the town of Shandaken, County of Ulster, pursuant to the local finance law to finance the Phoenicia Water District water main repair on Bridge Street Bridge. And that's just the title. Be resolved by the town board of the town of Shandaken and the County of Ulster as follows. Section 1, the town of Shandaken, County of Ulster, shall issue its serial bonds for the aggregated principal amount of $70,000 pursuant to the local finance law of New York in order to finance the specific purpose hereinafter described. Section 2, specific purpose hereinafter required as purpose to be financed pursuant to the resolution is the repair of the damaged water main on the Bridge Street Bridge in the Phoenicia Water District. Section 3, it is hereby stated that a maximum cost of said purpose as estimated by the town board is $289,000.
208,000.
Oh, I'm sorry, $208,900.
Rick's having a heart attack.
And B, the town has applied for and been approved to utilize to a maximum a $150,000 emergency community water assistance grant, ECWAG, ECWAG, provided and approved by the United States Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, USDA/RD, to be applied to the portion of the payment of the cost of said purpose. And C, the town board plans to finance the town's balance of the cost of said purpose entirely from funds raised from the issuance of such statutory installment bond, notwithstanding the interim use of the funds derived from bond anticipation notes that may be issued in contemplation of the eventual issuance of said statutory installment bond. Ooh. And, gee, what the heck? Section 4. Who wrote this? Section 4. It is hereby determined that said purpose is an object of purpose described in Section 11 of the local finance law, and that the period of probable usefulness of said purpose is more than 7 years. Section 5. It is hereby determined that the proposed maturity of the obligation authorized by this resolution will be 7 years or less. Section 6. Subject to the terms and contents of this resolution and the local finance law and pursuant to the provisions of Section 30, 50, 60, inclusive in said law, the power to authorize bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of the statutory installment bond authorized by this resolution and the renewal of said notes, and the power to prescribe the terms, form, and contents of said statutory installment bond and said bond anticipation notes, and the power to sell and deliver said statutory installment bond and bond anticipation notes issued in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds is hereby delegated to the town supervisor, the chief fiscal officer of the town. Town supervisor hereby authorized to sign any statutory installment bond issued pursuant to the resolution of any bond anticipation notes issued by anticipation of the issuance of the statutory installment bond, and the town clerk is hereby authorized to affix the corporate seal of said town to any of the said statutory installment bond of any bond anticipation notes and to test such seal.
What does that
Section
say?
7.
Is that in English? What does that say?
Section 7, this resolution shall be published in full by the town clerk in said town together with a notice in substantially the form prescribed by Section 81 of said local finance law, and such publication shall be in the Daily Freeman, a newspaper published in the city of Kingston and having a general circulation in said town. The validity of such statutory installment bond or of any bond anticipation notes issued in anticipation of the sale and said statutory installment bond may be contested only if such obligations are authorized for an object or purpose for which the town is not authorized to expend money, or the provisions of the law which should be compiled with at the date of the publication of this resolution are not substantially complied with, and an action, suit, or proceeding contesting such validity is commenced within 20 days, and after the date of such publication, or said obligations are authorized in violation of the Constitution of New York. Section 8. This resolution shall take effect immediately upon its adoption, and I move its adoption. Thank you, folks. Thank you. Is anybody awake?
I don't want you to repeat that. She didn't get any of that.
I'll second.
Oh, you did? Very good. Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Storms?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes, yeah, while we're on that, so, in here, it's basically saying that you're allowed to borrow the money, and that this is what you're promising to use it for. Coincidentally, we were also supposed to have a resolution for a bond anticipation note, which is what they referred to. So Eric has several bridges that are due for replacement, he's funded through FEMA. So what you do is you float a bond anticipation notice, because you don't know exactly how much you're gonna have to borrow, because you're gonna have to borrow the money to build the bridge, and then FEMA reimburses you. So because you don't have a solid figure on where you're gonna be on borrowing the money and where the money's coming in from FEMA, you float a bond anticipation notice. So I'll make sure you get that resolution when that comes up in a couple of months.
Thanks.
Oh, I got a tough one too.
Oh, look at this.
Resolution 14815, resolution establishing town board annual year-end meeting. Whereas the town of Shandaken needs to conduct certain business before the close of the 2015 fiscal year. Therefore, be it resolved, the town of Shandaken Town Board will conduct the annual year-end meeting at 1 p.m. on Wednesday, December 30th, 2015, for the purpose of conducting related business, and move its adoption.
I'll second that.
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Storms?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes.
Last but not least, Resolution 149-15, establishing town board annual reorganizational meeting. Whereas the town of Shandaken annually conducts a meeting to appoint employees and officers of the town, establish a meeting schedule, and meet contractual obligations. Therefore, be it resolved that the town of Shandaken Board will conduct their annual reorganizational meeting at 6 p.m. on Monday, January 4th, 2016, for the purpose of conducting related business. I move its adoption.
I'll second it.
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Swartz?
Yes.
Supervisor Family?
Yes. Open public comment. Patricia, I waited patiently. Told you half an hour, 45 minutes. I got you.
Yes, you're right on. I have a law, I just want to hand up. Okay, good evening, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. At least I'm getting a warm feeling about everyone here, that's good. I have come tonight because I had been
Excuse me, what's your name?
Patricia DiGiorgio,
And where do you live?
59 Broad Street, Hollow. Okay, so, this is where I live, for the last 6 years. I'm concerned about the litter at certain homes on the road. And it's quite extensive on a road on the corner of Portal East. And it's very disturbing to me. I've been in touch with the building inspector. Very nice gentleman. I think he does a good job. I'm sure he has a lot to do. But I guess what my question is, I know this is a state law. I've spoken with the building inspector that people need to pick up their refuse and everything littering the property. This is literally covered in this one property. I have an issue with this. I cannot live around this. I'm a taxpayer, and if I didn't pay my taxes, somebody'd come looking for me. If I wasn't being a good citizen, somebody'd come looking for me. I clean up my property, I keep things, I'm a single woman living in my house. So, I wanna know what can be done. This is why I'm here tonight, because I needed to make that statement. I was a little afraid to come, but you know, I'm new here, and you know, it's just not, you know.
What you're doing is exactly right, by contacting the building inspector. Now, know that he just came in February, March, somewhere around that time.
Right.
So he's been slowly learning his way around town. The particular parcel you're looking at, I know that he has specifically addressed, and that's really the only way we can address it. There was nothing that we can do to come clamping down other than, you know, talking to the person, you know, asking them to clean up, say this is becoming a bigger problem. But really, outside of that, it's in Warren's hands as far as the law, and he's been pretty diligent. Again, we've had some others up in the High Mount area, Alvaria, where he's gone after and basically got them to clean up. So I'll talk to Warren in the morning, see
Okay.
where he's at with this application and where it's going, and that's the best I can do. I can give you a call if you give me a number.
Okay,
I can give you a call in the morning, let you know where it stands.
I would like you to give me a call.
Okay. But certainly, again, you're not unlike 95% of the residents in this town. You know, everybody does the same thing and says the same thing. I take care of my property, I pay my taxes, and this guy's wrecking the neighborhood next door. What can we do about it? And 9 times out of 10, it's just a talking to, or, you know, maybe just start talking to him. But you know, that's the best we can offer as a town board. We can't, there's nothing that we can do to enforce it. It has to go through the enforcement.
So it has to go through the
Has to go through
building
Warren.
enforcement?
And there's time frames that are allowed, again, I've seen it before,
Yeah.
several buildings in Pine Hill, where people complained about them not mowing the lawn and the weeds were getting high. And there's a process, and you have to give them 30 days to respond, and then they go to court, and sometimes the justice will give them 30 days to clean it up, so it can last, and then you get into cold weather, and they go, well, it's snowing out, he can't really clean now.
Yes,
You know, that's what happens, so.
Okay.
But I will talk to Warren about it.
thank you so much. I can give you my phone number for that. 688-3043.
You know,
Oh, I'm sorry. What do you want me to do?
Sit out here and that also.
Well, I'm in the book.
I'll talk to you.
Oh, you'll talk to me after.
Any other public comments? That's going viral on YouTube. What's more. first off, again, I want to I can't thank you guys enough. I know it's been tough, and I know a lot of you guys took a hit on what's going on with the ambulance squad, but again, I think the town board, at least the existing members that are here, the ones that have been here, and so far from other two members, I'm fairly certain that you've got their support as well to continue on. Again, there's going to be glitches and there's going to be issues that we'll have to work out as we work through this new scheduling and pay, but thank you again for working with us and working through it with us. So appreciate it. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Last meeting, I was actually quite surprised. I wasn't surprised by Mr. Higley's appearance of this, but Mr. Bernstein. Oh, I'm sorry, there's public comment. Yes, Mr. Perez.
I don't know if Chad could maybe fill you in more, but I think there's a new law that people that have alarm systems have to register those with the county
We already have
as a
that
public
law.
service. I mean, but
We already have that law in our town, yeah. And we're gonna, I already talked to Warren, we're gonna do a permit, actual permit, that people have to fill out so they're aware of all the ramifications. If they have false alarms over a period of time, they get fined and all that. But, we already had it on the books, but now it's gonna be more official. So they have to actually get a permit. And those are the alarm systems that are hooked up to actually, call the police directly and the fire departments directly. So, even though Freeman didn't say Shandaken had it, we do have it. Yeah.
Any other public comment? Again, so tonight we have board members that are leaving. I was kind of hoping Mr. Bernstein would be here at the very least. Mr. Higley has worked for us for 4 years, 3.5 years. That's what and Mr. Bernstein has been here for 8 years. So again, public service is not the most enjoyable job to be in sometimes, but it does have its rewards. And I want to thank them for their service and thank them for their commitment to the town. And even though we didn't see eye to eye on some of the issues at times, we always worked through it, could have a civil discourse, and I certainly hope we continue in that manner when the new board convenes in January. So I'd like to thank them, and please give them a round of applause. With that, if there's no other public comment, I'd like to move to adjournment. I'd like to take a moment in memory of Neil Goodrich, Harry Rochelle, and those souls lost in Pearl Harbor. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
Favor?
Aye.
Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, festivals for the rest of us, and a happy and safe New Year.
Rattle them all out. Oh, I missed that. Ramadan. I missed Ramadan.
Now this is the big one.
It'll go on Wednesday and be there for Happy Mother's Day. Yeah. I don't, it's probably, I can't hear but I don't think, she didn't say the whole thing. I don't think
I know how you feel. I have somebody like that near my house. In the park. And I know where We'll get you to stay. We'll keep these part-time, right? These part-time. Nothing wrong with being a snowbird, right?
I know